We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His great ni'mah to be chosen to be Muslims in this day and in this time and under these circumstances, and in this part of the world in which we have the ultimate ability to challenge the word of kufr and shirk, and to raise the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make it ula, and to pronounce Islam as a system, and to be able to say without any compromise that Islam is a better way. To be able to stand in the court of the Fir'aun and the Fir'aunic people and to say to them, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And without any fear, to say to them that Islam is a better way. And to say to them, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna ad-deena 'inda Allahi al-Islam. Verily the system chosen by Allah and preferred by Allah and made legitimate by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the human beings is nothing other than Islam. And we Muslims in the Western world, or living under Western culture, living under the influence of westernized government, we Muslims who are living as minorities, we are the wealthiest Muslims. We are the healthiest Muslims. We are the most educated Muslims. We are the most liberated Muslims. But unfortunately, we are the weakest, and we are the quietest, and we are the most afraid. And this is why the situation of Muslims and Islam being misconstrued is so tragic. Because Muslims in other governments, other places, other lands, they cannot stand up and say a word. Not a word. Even they cannot gather as we are gathered tonight. The masjids in those lands are not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The masjids are in the hands of the tyrants, the puppets, those who have been chosen to lead the Muslims, who themselves are mufsideen and fasiqeen and dhalimeen. And those mufsideen, fasiqeen, dhalimeen, munafiqeen, they have killed more Muslims than all the kuffar governments together. Muslim tyrants who have been selected and handpicked by the kuffar themselves have put in prison and killed and repressed more Muslims in the last 100 years than all the kuffar governments have done together. But those Muslims in those countries, and you know what I mean because some of you have come from those countries, you have fled from those countries, or you have been pushed from those countries, and you have come here saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your way here on the boat or on the plane that if you came to a place of safety, you would practice Islam. But once you arrived and Allah gave you the safety, you do nothing except come to the masjid and pray, and you do nothing else. And this is what we need to talk about.
The Rangers, a Pakistani paramilitary force, initially described this encounter as one with an armed criminal. But it soon became clear that Sarfaraz Shah was not armed. That didn't stop the Rangers from firing at the teenager at close range. Sarfaraz died shortly after from profuse bleeding. Hundreds turned up for his funeral, outraged and shocked.